I spent a lot of time analyzing this guy and his career and his path, and I could not believe what happened.
Foreplay presented by Barstool Sports. We got the entire squad back. We've got really just a massive show. A lot has happened since the last time we were on. Tiger Woods, we put out a little bit of a teaser. It's all we could put out, a photo. We're going to talk as much as we possibly can about that. It's a miracle that I'm doing this show. Big thanks to modern medicine, which we could talk about that as well. But I'm going to start with a huge thank you to everybody who bought merchandise. It's incredible. It's insane how lucky we are. It's insane how supported we are. I want to give everybody a big hug that bought anything at all. I saw people sending in receipts for anywhere from $40 to $350 to $800. It's just unimaginable that people come out in droves every year, Black Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and now here we are on Cyber Monday recording this. So I think we all feel that way, but just a massive thank you to all of our listeners out there who buy stuff.
Yeah, huge thank you. And just from a practical sense, even more so now after Dave bought the company back, and it's been this way forever, people buying merch allows us to do whatever we want. The content that gets made across all of it, with the golf stuff, every podcast and everything that gets made, we are able to do more of it because of the merchandise. Ads are one thing. There's a bunch of different streams that come in of revenue, but merch, that's just our fans buying stuff because they like the brand, they like the content, they like us. And that just gives us more freedom than we would have if we didn't sell merch and if people didn't buy merch. So the fact that people buy it, they buy a lot of it, we are very, very, very appreciative of that.
And shout out to the whole merch team, obviously the behind the scenes people that are really the ones that are coming up with all these amazing ideas and kind of using what we've said that we want to make the brand look like, and then they make it. This merchandise that we have now is just top tier. I mean, the quality of every single item that we have in the store is just night and day better than where this thing started. It was always just throw a logo on a t-shirt and let's see if it sells. And now it's really, they're thinking through what's the best materials to use. What are the best hats? I mean, this hat I'm wearing right now, it's sold out on Black Friday alone. It just says Barstool Golf. It's embroidered on the front. You can actually feel how it comes off the hat. You feel that, Trent?
I feel it.
And you look at the inside and it's a Barstool Sports hat. It's not another brand. It's not a brand that we found and threw our logo on it. We actually make these threads. The inside is all completely customized with the B-Cross T on the inside of the lid. This is what I'm talking.
It's also on the back there, the B-Cross T.
It's an amazing product. And yeah, just what's that noise?
What is that sound?
What was that noise?
Who's rustling around now?
Who's rolling around in the leaves?
Probably Danny. We can't see.
We can't see Dan.
We're off to a hot start with my new home.
So we got
office.
a text from Dan Rappaport. Yeah, his stuff finally got there after 65 days of it just making the trek across this great country of ours. And then he hopped on here. He got the mic situation right. He had it pointed down first. Now it's pointing up. But he also looks like a cartoon character because of its pixelated. So
you're a little bit like
cousin
start. Mike Portnoy, to be honest with you. Like your relationship to audio technology is very Mike Portnoy-esque.
Yeah, I never realized.
Now he's frozen.
I can count on Frankie
unable to
bring me down to earth. We got nothing.
Nothing.
Unbelievable.
Oh man.
All right.
I felt like we were in such a good spot.
Our pixelated.
Does it not feel like you're doing the Cousins again, Trent?
Oh, it really has. It's very reminiscent of that. Yes. It is also interesting, a little peek behind the curtain where when we're having our pre-show chat, everyone is 10K in terms of high definition. We're talking, we're kind of going over everything. And then as soon as I clap my hands and Riggs starts talking, everyone turns into a cartoon character.
All right, I just switched to hotspot. Are we back?
I think we might be back.
You're back.
Okay.
I think you're back.
Yeah. I never realized how clumsy and bad I am at certain things until Frankie told me. So yeah, I guess I can't figure out a home office.
Well, I just questioned why you had the mic down.
I had the mic. I was really excited to get this mic stand because Alex Bush gives me shit nonstop about putting the mic as close to my mouth as possible because I'm really bad at it. So I was super excited to get this, thinking, oh my God, I won't have to actually hold the microphone. Turns out if you have the mic pointing down towards your head, it doesn't really pick up sound. So I had to reconfigure the microphone.
You need the Michael buffer coming down, and you need to be able to hold it and scream into it. But these mics are not made for
Michael
that.
Buffer, a guy that apparently our guy Alex Bush has no idea who that is, which makes me feel 150 years old.
No, I mean once you explain who he is, I know who he is. I just don't know the name.
You don't know Bruce Buffer either, the MMA.
I've heard I've heard these
No,
names.
you're
I just
lying
can't-
now.
Bruce Buffer
I
is
just
now
can't
more.
identify.
I mean, Michael Buffer has apparently retired, so you won't see him as much. But Bruce Buffer does, I think, every MMA card, every UFC card. He's the it's time. These are iconic voices in the sports
Oh
world.
yeah, I mean I've
Yeah,
seen
'cause-
memes of this guy.
Michael
Does that
Buffer
help?
was pretty old in like the 90s, I feel like, when I was watching the WWE and stuff. So he's got to be really
know
retired
what
at this point.
A name that just popped into my head. Do you guys know who Mills Lane is?
Yeah.
People might know him. He was a referee, but he was famously the referee in Celebrity Deathmatch on MTV. Is how I remember him.
Yeah,
Is it Mills Lane?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
He's
He would-
unbelievable in
He would
Celebrity
do one of
Deathmatch.
these. Get it on. Who watched Celebrity Deathmatch? Anybody?
Yep.
Man, me and Riggs were old, dude. Celebrity Deathmatch was a claymation
Oh, I've seen
MTV
those.
show
I have
where
seen
celebrities
those.
would fight. I wish they would bring it back. I think they actually might have tried to bring it
Those
back.
used to scare
Blood
me.
goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere, ripping people's heads off. Such a good show. But
Would he
that's-
go, let's get it on? Isn't that how he would start it?
Yes, correct.
Really good. Yeah, Dan also has you do, like Bush gets back, because you would, when we're doing shows on work trips, you will do this and you'll just lay the microphone on your chest
And
instead
it
of
picks up
holding it.
nothing.
You guys have been doing this for close to a decade. Okay, I'm still in year 2. I'm still learning how the technology works, the podcast works. I'm used to just writing something.
That's true.
Fair.
That's all right. That's fair. Chevrolet, they've got over 1,900 certified EV dealerships and over 5,550 EV trained technicians. Look, electric vehicles are just in. Everybody knows it. It's the future. You don't want to be wasting money on gas. You got to get in the EV game, and Chevy has been in the electric vehicle game for over 10 years. They have the knowledge and the skills to sell or service a Chevy EV. It's true, you have less routine maintenance on electric vehicles, but if you need maintenance on your Chevy EV, they have technicians that are EV certified. We love Chevrolet.
The best. Not just the best car company, but just the best logo and brand. You see it especially during football season. You're watching football clanging and banging. You see that Chevrolet. You see that logo pop up on your screen. And it just catches your attention. And they've just been dominating the marketing game, the car game, now the electric vehicle game for, like you said, 100 years, now over a decade in terms of electric vehicles. And it's an amazing company. And I'm very proud to be partners with them because they're just the best.
Yeah, with their with the app now, they've got it all mapped out. So you get one of these Chevy EVs, and then you can just map out your trip. Now, typically, if you're just going to work or whatnot, these bad boys charge up. You can just charge them, at home, wherever you're going to charge them. You're not going to have to worry about it because they go plenty far. But if you're going for a trip, these things can just map out exactly where the charging stations are, where you need to stop for a few minutes, get a little bit of extra juice, optimize your battery. It's incredible, incredible, incredible technology. It's the future. They got the infotainment centers on their systems. Plus, they got the bow tie, the iconic history. You can trust them because they've been doing it for over a century. So Chevy.com/electric is where you need to go check out their vehicles. I'm on that site right now. I'm looking at the Equinox EV, the Blazer EV, the Silverado EV. I'm looking at the Bolt and the Bolt EUV. So all kinds of great stuff on there. Great colors, great models, all kinds of extra and fun bells and whistles you can put on there. So go to Chevy.com/electric right now and check out our great friends with the bow tie. Merchandise is still available, so when the show comes out, it will not be 20% off anymore. So maybe if you're just such a supporter that you didn't even want to take 20% away from us, you could still just buy merchandise really forever. Our link's there. It's incredible. Like, we focus on all the new stuff whenever we do Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's incredible when you scroll through the link. I think I saw we have 308 items or something in our store. And when you get to like 250, there's still really cool like windbreakers that Jonesy was wearing when he made par on 7 at Pebble Beach. Like, that windbreaker is like way down the list. There's amazing gear that's on there. That's maybe not the focal point of when we're tweeting every day. That's still on there. So we got an amazing amount of merchandise. Our team, like we said, does such a good job. They literally make half the stuff that we sell instead of just doing Roback or Unreal and putting logos on it, which is also great and works. We just make a lot of our own stuff. So So yeah, the whole operation is amazing, and we very much appreciate it.
You know what item we sold out of that blew my socks off? We sold out of the travel covers.
Did we?
Yeah, out of nowhere we
The
sold
Sun
out of
Mountain
them.
ones?
Just last
Wow.
year, the Sun Mountain ones. Last year they didn't really pop off. I knew it was a good item. And I was
Those
talking
are
with
sick.
Allison and Pilar like 2 years ago, being like, we need travel covers. Like every time you go to these stores, it's always the same travel cover. It's a black Sun Mountain travel cover, and everyone's got the same one that comes out on the carousel. And you're just like, I needed something that was a little bit more pizzazzy, and we came with a red, white, and blue one with the Barstool logo on it. It didn't do that great last year, and this year I think they may have added like another 5% off. Maybe it was like 25 or 30% off. Bang, sold out. Nuts. I got that text. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I didn't even know we had that on sale.
Trent is a big fan of not checking that bag to make sure that it's his. Whenever we're on a travel series, I'm always like, hey, Trent, I have your travel bag. He's like, I didn't even check. He just grabs the first Barstool bag. So that's one potential
surprising
negative is more of those in the wild means more potential for Trent Ryans to just fuck people over and take their bags.
I'll take any golf clubs home. I'll take whatever one comes out first. That one's
You didn't
coming
even
back
look.
home with me.
We were in a foreign country. You didn't even
Frankie,
look.
Frankie and I have this system because him and I travel so much and we're usually at the same airports where there is a tiny, tiny yellow smudge, yellow paint smudge on his where I know his immediately and I know mine immediately. Dan, once you get thrown in the mix, your tiny wedges and your irons that I would not be able to hit, those are coming home with me.
Yeah, my bag got dragged across some sort of like stone once. Like it had a yellow residue all over the bag, and I kind of smacked it off while it was still kind of wet. And then there's been a little circle, the slightest bit of yellow is on this front portion of my bag, and we know immediately it's mine now. It's been huge. We also could just put a little ribbon on it, like a color. We could be color coordinated.
That reminded me. I don't remember what airport it was recently. We got to an airport where the carousel was completely overloaded with luggage, where like the other ones must have been broken and all the flights were on one carousel. And I'm not kidding. Like as it was coming out, they were stacking up avalanche of luggage. And there was one civilian, one guy who decided that he was going to fix what was going on and was grabbing the bags and just throwing them.
Tossing them.
And at first we were like, all right, he sees his bag, so he's going to try to declutter this by grabbing it. It was a stranger's bag. And he was just throwing everything so it wasn't going to be jammed anymore. I almost pissed my pants out.
Well, dude, the first guy was very serious about it. And we were like, this guy's out of control. He was taking them overhand, tossing them back onto a spot of the carousel that it would have room. So he's taking all these bags coming out at JFK. It was, when I say it was an avalanche of bags, I'd never seen anything like it. Maybe 7 flights of bags were all coming out at the same time. It was chaos. They've lost the airport at this point. And this guy's just trying to make sure they stay on. At one point, he gave up, and then another guy noticed. It was the second guy.
Yeah.
Another guy noticed, and he's just trying to be a nice guy, like kind of moving them because they're all stockpiling where they're coming out. And at one point, we thought he was going to get overtaken by him, and that's where we lost it. He was like, he kind of backed up and got both his legs low, and he goes, "Oh my god!" And he's holding on to me and Trent. We didn't help at all. We're just staring there laughing.
Just watching.
We're like, the guy legit almost died via luggage.
There's hundreds of people there. Anybody could have helped, but it was an unhelpable situation.
Yeah.
It's just too many bags. But yeah, no, that's cool that those sold out. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
I saw the third most sold item we have is like ain't no hobby tees or something that I don't even know where you find those on the link. So clearly people are digging deep into the shop, which I love. We respect it. We appreciate it. I have to give a shout out to one of the bag handlers at the Fort Lauderdale airport on Wednesday. I checked in, just the bag drop. They're already tagged. A lady checks me in, grabs it, puts it behind, and then like a male comes and grabs it. And this guy grabs it, gives it one little test. It's heavy. It's my golf bag. And then he drops it and he like gets settled in and he goes, "Oh, we got to handle this heavy bitch." And then he grabs it, turns around, and just without a care in the world that I was right there, just threw it onto the thing. Like a good 6-foot throw with it spinning in the air, and it just landed upside down and made a big crack. And he just turned around and went and got somebody else's bag. And I was just standing there like, All right. I mean, there's nothing I could do about it at this point. There's just, I got 16 golf clubs in there. Hopefully it's padded pretty well, but he just threw it like 6 feet. And you realize that at that point, like, it's on you if you don't pad up your stuff and do the best that you can.
You know what clip just popped in my head? You guys seen the clip of Trump when he's in Puerto Rico shooting the paper towels?
Paper
Paper
towels.
towels.
Yeah. The gooseneck. That was your golf bag.
Right.
Kobe. He's just throwing them.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
That's
care
one
about
of the
these golf
funniest
clubs,
clips
but these are just another bag to these guys. They don't care, which is fine.
No. He could not have cared less.
That Trump clip is so. Was that toilet paper?
Yeah, it was
like,
single rolls of paper towel after a catastrophic hurricane in Puerto Rico.
In the midst of a horrible hurricane.
In like a makeshift warehouse, and all the people are like, give us some supplies.
This bounty roll ought to do it.
Dude, he was shooting jumpers, dude. Just
so good.
it's an unbelievable clip.
Also, quickly, if we're still talking merch, just buy the Tiger crew neck because everybody else in the world has it. So
Yeah, number one seller 2 years in a row.
We might as well be the Tiger Swing crew neck podcast, the Tiger Swing crew neck YouTube channel. That thing is a rocket ship, and it's never, ever, ever, ever slowing down.
We're going to get into the Tiger stuff, I'm assuming, because we have to. It's the biggest thing that's ever happened to us in our lives. But there's been a lot of talk about merchandise at this company and Barstool Golf merch. And, Riggs had to go to battle for the brand on radio and all this stuff and all that good stuff that happened a couple weeks ago. And what you realize is our number
Really
one
good stuff.
seller... Our number one seller over the last 2 years has been a crew neck or a hoodie. Because everyone says, they're the golf guys. It's so easy to just make a polo and sell it to whoever. And our number one seller by like 7 times has been a...
For the record, on that front, before you even get to that number, on that front, I think, 70 or 80% of our sales are lifestyle clothes that are not
Correct.
even golf related, like polos.
Right.
And
even more
I
so
designed a
is-
logo
we don't
for
even
a Common
sell
Man
those
Country
that
Club.
much. Like, those are
I
very
designed a
rare.
logo.
Like, we
It's the
legit.
best.
So, right.
It's this Tiger progression swing, which we went over for months. It felt like at first it looked like a fox, and then we figured out how to make it look like a tiger.
It was a fox.
Thank
We
God,
did
dude.
get
It's
a
the best.
fox.
I texted Pilar. The day before we went live, I said, I don't know what's going to happen when I send this text, but you can't put this shirt on sale because it looks like a fox. And she said, well, my higher ups, they all approved it at the time. Like, I don't know if I can really tell them that it doesn't look good. I'm like,
Looks like a fox.
it looks like a fox. We're not putting it on sale. We switched it, and it's number one selling item. I think maybe like in Barstool history, aside from something that Dave probably
Like
put out.
Free Brady was probably
Yeah.
the only thing bigger.
But that's my point is like, I think our fans like to see, we are Tiger guys. We've been sucking from the teat for a long time. We're his guys. We are part of the Tiger camp. He is our boss. He's our boss man. The whole story behind him, us just giving him fist bumps all around the world, finally getting our 1 or 2 seconds with them. We put out a Tiger shirt. It's our number one shirt because of the story, because it doesn't have to just do with like throwing a Barstool logo on a polo. There's a whole thing here. There's a brand here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just want to say shout out to the fucking brand after a big weekend of Cyber Monday and Black Friday. That's
Yeah,
all.
Dave-
Just a shout out to the boys.
Shout
you know?
out. Dave went on radio and was like, the foreplay guys, they kill merch. They can get in tiffs here and there with whoever inside the company, outside the company. But at the end of the day, we're selling a lot of merch.
A polo is probably our
Boys.
least sold item.
That's a huge part of it that I don't think people understand is they think that we're just every polo that's sold is, anybody could sell golf stuff. We don't even sell that much golf stuff. We sell
No.
lifestyle stuff that represents our brand. The Tiger stuff we sell because we literally, like you just said, sculpted and created the logo down to a T, signing off on every detail of it, decided the swing progression, the one of him kneeling down, and then it sells so well and gets out there so much because we are the Tiger guys. For 6, 7, 8 years, we have been defending Tiger Woods against every hater in the world. We have weathered storm after storm after storm as a brand. And the first big storm that we weathered was Dave Portnoy himself, who wouldn't let us do Foreplay Golf Podcast, who wouldn't let us make golf videos.
Who's
And we got
anti-Tiger for
past
our whole
him.
lives.
We were like
Fake a
NASCAR.
phone call.
We were like NASCAR. Like our biggest boss we faced was our first race of the year, and it was Dave Portnoy. And now everyone that we go after that, I hate to tell you anybody else, and so no, like they're just not that big of challenges to us at this point because we made it past the big boss man. The big boss man knows, like if you're, if you watch a mob movie, who the big earners are, and big thanks to. That's why we led the show with thanks to all of our fans, all the people that come to our events, that sell out the Barstool Classic, that listen to the podcast, watch our videos, watch our stuff on social, and ultimately buy our merchandise. It allows us to be us. It allows us to get to do these amazing things, which leads us to our next story, which is that we just released a photograph on Tuesday of last week of the three of us, which I'll get to why it wasn't the four of us, which is really a heroically selfless move by Dan Rappaport, of myself, Frankie, and Trent with Tiger Woods in a red shirt and the black pants and the biggest smile I've ever seen in my entire life and the most jacked upper body I've ever seen in my entire life. I love TaylorMade Golf to death, and I always will, because we got to finally, in an official capacity, with all of our camera guys there and our drones there and TaylorMade's camera guys there, and with golf balls and golf clubs, including Tiger Woods himself, got to film a video on a tee box with the greatest, most iconic golfer in the history of the world. I'm the biggest sports fan of whether it's this team or that team. It's Tiger Woods for me. He is the needle. He's everything. And it happened on Tuesday. It wasn't easy. It wasn't certain. Up until 30 seconds before it happened, it wasn't certain. We can't give away a ton of details. The video is embargoed until the new stuff from TaylorMade Golf, which is insanely good. We talked about it with Trotty, comes out, which is in mid-January. I don't know if they have an official date yet released to the public. I know that we have a date, but mid-January, that video will come out. It's not a full 4-man scramble. We had 15 minutes with Tiger Woods. It was kind of a squeeze time that they made work out. They had to get it approved by TaylorMade. TaylorMade only has something like 6 hours every year to film all of their annual stuff with Tiger Woods. So for them to take any of that time and give it to us 3 or 4 clowns is a massive undertaking. So we had to pitch them for months and months. They have to pitch Mark Steinberg. Steinberg signed off on it. Tiger Woods signs off on it. And then before you know it, we're on a tee box with Tiger Woods. We had to come up with some sort of content plan. We had to hope the timing worked out. And I have to tell people that there are things that happen in this video that I think will be talked about in our internet world forever. And I think that there are dozens of tiny little 1 to 4 second clips from this video that will be replayed and will be broken down like the Zapruder film for decades to come.
I got chills all the way down from my toes to my fucking tip of my hair right now. I mean, there's really not much you could say other than that. There's moments in this video that are and I use this word a lot, and we had to actually give $1 every time we said this. There are moments in this video that are unbelievable, and it's not going to go. This is going to be a 25-minute video. It's a true YouTube video. This was not some quick, like it seemed quick because of the time that they gave us. We ended up elongating it as long as we possibly could. We got a little bit of an interview done afterwards. This thing is like legitimately a video. It's a YouTube fucking video with Tiger Woods. And yeah, I mean, Trent, it's hard to really describe.
Well, it's also tough because there is an embargo on it and the stuff comes out in January. So we're going to do this. We're teasing the fuck out of people and not going to be able to see it for a couple months, but it has to go on record that people aren't going to believe what they see. And no. I get that sounds like hyperbole, and we are prone to hyperbole. We're kind of in the hyperbole business, but like there are things that happen in this video that people are legitimately not going to believe.
Let's put it this way. If I was scrolling, if we were scrolling on Instagram and we saw the things that we're going to put out in our video on just a random account, right? Let's say PGA Tour put out a video of Tiger Woods and we came across what ended up happening with us, we would have gone so crazy that we would record an emergency podcast. Do we all agree with that?
I agree with that.
Yes.
At this moment of his career, if we would have seen what happened in our video, we would have legitimately stopped what we were doing, left dinner, done it, and we would have recorded a 1-hour podcast talking about it.
Yeah, I was watching the whole thing go down, and I spent a lot of time analyzing this guy and his career and his path, and I could not believe what happened.
Dude, and again, I can feel people at home because we've done this before where it's like, we did this super cool thing and now you got to wait to see it. And then you see it and you're like, all right, that was pretty good. I'm telling you, promise. I am promising you, I am guaranteeing you, it is worth the wait. It's worth the wait. It's just.
I think people are gonna make things from this video like their background on their phone. I think this is a generationally big video for our fans. I think I have stuff on my phone that I've already talked about with friends and stuff, and I've seen the reaction of the content that I have on my phone, and it's only like 5 or 6 seconds worth of a 20-minute video, and the reaction has been screams, like legitimate, holy shit. We had Cal Clutterbuck. Shout out to Cal Clutterbuck.
1,000 games?
1,000 games in the NHL. One of the more impressive stats. Guy leads the NHL all time in hits. Never suspended once for a wrong hit. Never once caught a guy up top.
That's class.
Never once went knee to knee, slew foot where they're like, that's a game, that's 2 games. Never. Always played the game right. Shout out to him. He's been on the channel. He's one of the best golfers in the NHL. So I'm really happy for him. I was at his
the ball off a beer can.
Pounds the ball. They destroyed us in a 4-minute scramble. I went to his 1,000th game party right afterwards, and all the guys are there, and they saw the picture, and they're coming up to me, and these are like my idols, right? It's all the Islanders standing around my phone. I showed them some stuff. It was like it was a movie scene where everyone goes, oh, like hitting each other, being like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, there's no way that's real. There's no way. So I know we're teasing the fuck out of these
It's tough.
people.
I know, but we have to.
We got to get to Danny. And Riggs alluded to it off the top. I'll be the first to say that I brought this to our attention the night before dinner. We had heard that we might get Tiger Woods
At the Woods,
day later.
actually.
At the Woods. We're at the Woods. We were all jacked up. Danny obviously is jacked up. He knows more about Tiger Woods than probably any of us because the guy is just a living, breathing encyclopedia about golf. He knows everything about golf. This is his life. It's what he's made his career. Before us, he's made his career about golf, and a very good one. So we were all really excited about the possibility of getting Tiger the next day. And then someone at dinner came up to us and was like, listen, guys, at our table, we were sitting at different tables. And one of the guys came up to me and Trent was like, you guys tomorrow got to be ready to do 7 minutes with Tiger. Like, do you have your plan B? Like, what's it going to be? Like, it's got to be in and out. And we're sitting there and I'm like, I started to get that hot feeling being like, are we messing up this once in a lifetime opportunity to get the video? Like, Trent, Riggs, and I, we've really specifically you two guys, even from the beginning, you guys have really, really built this Tiger Woods brand, and then we've really gotten it to a point where everyone knows it's the Tiger Woods guys, and this is our thing. Are we gonna have 1 second each with this guy, or should Riggs get 6 minutes and then we're around him or whatever it may be? So we started to come up with these ideas, and it ended up coming down to where Danny selflessly was like, I'm just not going to be in it. It was we were kind of coming up with ideas what are we going to do if we don't have enough time? And Danny's like, listen, and I've said this I said this at Thanksgiving with my family. We were talking about it. I've said this with my friends. I don't think I'd ever be able to be in the position that Danny was, where you come out and say, I'm going to be so selfless that I'm not going to be in this video. I want it to be better for the brand. I want you guys to have as much time possible. Danny was very upfront, being like, I've been with him before. My old job was essentially covering him, and he knows me as D, and we were nervous that might take away from kind of the video of if Tiger's just hey, there's my friend Dan Rappaport. I know him from traveling the world and getting interviewed by him.
That was a big concern. That was a big
it's
concern.
Is that going to be our 6 minutes? Is just Danny and Tiger hanging out?
We very much thought Tiger was going to have no idea who we were and was going to walk up and be like, what do I do? I know that guy. There's D, and just talk to Dan for 3 or 4 minutes, which is in a normal circumstance, if we're at a PGA Tour event, that's great. That's great news for us. That's an entry. But in this scenario, which you've never had before, we're we kind of need this video to be one of our things where we get to do the foreplay thing. And this is kind of the culmination of 7 years of going to war for this guy. We can't risk that Tiger. Turns out, looking at it in hindsight, Tiger knew more about us than I, and that, and it clearly was a concern that ended up not even panning out or wasn't that important. But at the time and the night before, when we were trying to hatch out what we were going to do with 7 minutes, Dan heroically basically took a stand at dinner and was like, I honestly don't think I need to be in it. And I don't know how you did that, but that was very insanely appreciated.
I mean, as selfless as it is for him, it's as selfish for us to want to have as much time with him. I'm able to step away and look and see how selfish it is to be we need as much time with Tiger Woods as possible. But we were looking at it as, how are we going to gain the most opportunity to make this video? And Danny was the one that, if he didn't say it, we would have just done whatever we had to do. We needed someone to step up and say it, and he did. So I just want to thank you, Dan, for being able to do that, because that's I felt like sick to my stomach doing it, and I can't even imagine like being in that position to be able to say that the way you did.
Yeah, I'm a huge cuck, is what it comes down to. I just wanted to watch the whole thing play out. No, look, it goes back to something we've talked about on this podcast quite a few times. I'll keep it brief. Is knowing what we all do best and knowing who we are. And the three of you have built this brand and have been the guys in Tiger's Corner. That hasn't been me. I haven't been on this journey with you guys. I've come in it from a completely different angle, and I hope it comes through in the content. I'm kind of done trying to fit into whatever role. Like, I'm being myself, and I think it's very additive to the brand. And we're staying true to that identity of, you three have built something amazing. I am additive. I'm not replacing anyone. I'm not coming in to muck up any of your existing success. Same thing we did with the Wyndham Clark thing, where I didn't play. You guys did it. If I can add something to the video by interviewing him, that's what I'm here to do, is be additive. And you're right. If I was in the video, it just would have. I would have, you guys would have been so incredibly excited about it, and then I would have been faking it, and that would have come through. So I think it worked better for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it really goes down to familiarity versus being unfamiliar. Like, when Tiger steps into our world, the three of us, we like can't believe that that's happening. And like you said, like, part of your last job was like following him around, talking to him, like getting to know him, which is honestly so cool. But in our world, we're just like, we want to be the giddy schoolgirls when Tiger shows up.
Yeah.
We're going to be the giddy schoolgirls when he shows up. And like you just said, if there's a guy there who's like either pretending to do that or acting like us, I've done this before with this guy, having those two things be separate, I think was very important. And I would just echo what these guys said. The fact that you were like, yeah, I'll just sit this one out when it's Tiger fucking Woods is incredibly noble. And I will use that word. It is noble.
Yeah, and there's always
good.
a concern when you know the guy too well that you're not getting this, like, yeah, it wouldn't have been true to what the reaction we wanted. Like, TaylorMade even told us straight up, they're like, we get this guy for 6 hours a year, and he does all these very, like, he'll meet and do an interview with someone, or he'll do a TV commercial, and you get a certain Tiger Woods with it, right? Like, that's the Tiger Woods that he gives to that type of content and whatever it may be. And then when he was with you guys, it was just something different. Like, there was something different about it. Now, whatever that may be with what he had with Danny was going to be different than what he has with us. And like, we were just afraid that it might be a different vibe. Like, for Danny, it might just be like talking about golf, strictly about like, how's he doing? How are you doing? It's a completely different conversation. He doesn't even know our names. Like, I mean, Riggs, he's like best friends with Riggs, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, he's legitimately,
you're going to find out that they're close.
Yeah. They're
The
best
video's
friends.
insane. The video's insane.
There's pictures that are going to come out that if they're not hanging up in Riggs's house, like, you're insane.
He's in press conference mode when he's talking to me or when he's talking to those TaylorMade people. He might be a little bit more familiar with me, but it's still press conference mode. The Tiger Woods that you guys got was like just Tiger Woods being excited about something. Yeah, I don't want to give anything away.
And no, Dan, it was noble. Trent puts right. It was not like unnoticed. And I think that leading up to it, I think it was easily, you would agreed you had been noble. Even during it, I think you had a great twinkle in your eye of like you said, you witnessed something that you couldn't believe. I think the part that I felt the worst, for the 2 hours afterwards, where all of our crew sat around just looking at the footage and laughing out loud and oogling, and you were just there and weren't in it. Like, that had to suck so much. And so I felt horrible for you during that period.
That was a true cuck. That was like, watch how I fucked her. It's like, I want you to hear it.
You guys didn't know.
I want you to hear it.
You were so locked in, but I just called Mike Essie. I was like, I got to get on a cart with you and like go somewhere else. So I just followed around Mike Essie for like half hour.
It's a bad situation. I mean, I told my dad about how noble you were. My dad was like tearing up. It's almost like you like jumped on a grenade for us. Like, it was. And when you look back, it's not that serious, and we probably overthought it, and we just didn't know what we were going to get, and we learned from it. And like, it was chaos, and you were the guy. Like, if you had any different type of personality, I think we all would have butted heads. But you've been so good with this brand that you were able to kind of just take a step back and figure out what the best decision was for that moment when we were all freaking out. Like, I couldn't even breathe the night before. I'm like, we only have 6 minutes. We didn't sleep. We didn't sleep.
You couldn't hear anything the whole morning.
Yeah, my ears were legitimately, I was deaf. Like, I got to the tent, like the TaylorMade tent, and I was like, I'm deaf. Alex Bush was talking to me. I could not hear. My ear was ringing from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. My whoop said that me and Trent were in the highest possible high risk
Stress.
stress zone from 11:22 to 11:37 when we filmed the video. It was
Dude,
as bad as it gets.
It's so funny. Frankie and I were talking about this, and this is all going to be in the video, by the way. The whole lead up, us being super nervous, me not sleeping, Frankie going deaf. And it was funny. Frankie and I were saying that day during the lead up, we're clearly leading up to something that's going to be the biggest moment of probably our careers, certainly for the brand. It's the coolest fucking thing in the world, man. We are going to hang out with Tiger Woods for 20 minutes. And Frankie and I looked at each other and said, I almost wish this weren't happening. We should cancel it. That's how stressed we
were so nervous. We were mad it was happening.
You're just like, you're in such a stressful mode because you're like, it's Tiger Woods. This is the guy. Everybody knows who this person is. We get some time with him. It's going to be an incredible day. But in this moment, I think we should cancel because I am too fucking stressed out about it.
It was supposed to be at like 11 a.m. or something. And I remember Trent at one point at like 8:30 looked at me and was like, if this wasn't happening, this morning would be so much better up until 11:15. And
Which
I get,
it makes me sound like an asshole. I get that. Like, we got to spend time with Tiger Woods, but when you're in it, you're just like, I am so stressed out and I am so nervous. I would go 1 minute from hyping rigs up where we're like, here's what our idea is.
You were.
And I'm hyping rigs up like, dude, no matter what happens, it's going to be great because it's fucking Tiger Woods. 10 minutes later, I'm thinking we should cancel this thing. So we
were just in the
10
trenches.
minutes later, he's like dry heaving and I'm like patting him on the back like, dude, it's going to be great. It's Tiger Woods. So yeah, we were a mess. We were a mess leading up to it. And then
when you're around like other guys, when you're on Tiger Woods, no one else matters as horrific as that sounds. Like Colin Morikawa was on the next tee box to us and I'm like, shut the fuck up, Colin. I'm like screaming at him. I'm telling him like, get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, we were usually like grabbing him for any second that we could possibly get him
he also
for.
does the thing where he pulled up on the other tee box. He's like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, hey man, we got like 15 minutes with Tiger. So we're just kind of hanging out. And he's like, it's not that big a deal.
He's like, you think Tiger cares where you hit the ball? I was like, shut up.
Yeah.
But it's funny because they'll yeah, go ahead.
Well, just from like 50 yards away, he's like, you guys look scared.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, we're on a tee box waiting for Tiger Woods. And he saw that as a green light and he sort of sauntered his way over and was like, so what are you guys going to do? How nervous
he was getting all into it.
Yeah. No, it's even the players become fans when Tiger's around. Like after you guys did the video, every person had to go, what did you guys do? Like Charlie Hull was saying like she filmed something with him in the morning and she was like, I was so nervous filming with Tiger. So he's just on a different level than all the other athletes that are there. And they appreciate it and know it too.
And he's a wizard.
He was wearing red and black, dude. He was in his Sunday red, man. That's crazy.
Nothing feels better than hitting the golf course on a nice fall, crisp fall day, and the Barstool Golf Time app makes it easy for golfers to find the best tee times at the best prices. We curated this app. We created it. We worked with Supreme Golf to whip this thing up. It's got reviews on there, which is a huge, huge function. People can give it between 0 and 5 stars, and then they can write whatever they'd like to write about it. Us golfers all get it. When you go to a course, what matters to you, a lot of times it's the greens, it's the tee boxes and the fairways. How well kept are they? They're in good shape. Have they been punched recently? If you're going to pay a little bit more for a little bit nicer place, is it worth it? How did the staff treat you? Is the food at the halfway house worth it? Should I eat beforehand? People leave reviews about all that stuff. Barstool Golf Time allows you, especially us, we're on the road so much. We're going to go play a quick 9 holes, film a few videos. Where do we want to go? You could just open up the map, click on a spot that's highly rated, read the most recent reviews, and then you earn rewards and points for that you can use for Barstool Golf merch and other stuff. So we love the Barstool Golf Time app. That's why we created it.
We're running out of time up north. The weather's starting to turn. You got to get your rounds in. You got to get them in now. It's slipping away from us fast. So Barstool Golf Time, get on there, find a place to play, because in couple weeks, you're just going to be inside your house, unable to play golf.
Then you can find that one day where it's like, oh, wow, it's 50 degrees and everyone's out there, and you get all those comments when you're on the fairway being like, imagine if golf was this weather all the time. You're looking at your playing partner, you're like, I can't believe it. It's perfect. Quarter zip, pants, you got a nice hat on, you're not even feeling the breeze, just 52 degrees, a random December day with the sun shining. There's nothing more special than that. When the course is still open and you get that hot sun out there and it's just like, come on, man, we're still squeezing this thing out here. We're still squeezing this thing out. We still got time, but it's running fast.
Running away from you.
It is.
Someplace in the country, you might be able to still squeeze out these Barstool Golf Time rounds that you can book forever. You don't even squeeze them. They just kind of go on and on. But point is, no matter where you're at, you can use the Barstool Golf Time app. You can earn golf time rewards every time you book or leave course reviews. It's annoying to have to create accounts for each individual golf course that you try to book online. Under the Barstool Golf Time app, you can compare prices and availability all in one aggregated spot. It's the best. So download the Golf Time app right now. Check it out. Use it. It's going to help you. It's going to make everything better and more efficient for you. Download the Barstool Golf Time app now. I don't want to give away
No, we can't. We can't.
too much, and I'm not going to. But all I will say is now that Tiger Woods is at the Hero World Challenge, it's Tuesday when this show comes out, and he's going to be playing on Thursday. By all accounts, by everything that we saw and heard throughout the day, Tiger Woods was incredibly happy. He's in a fantastic mood. He was moving very nicely. He had done a warm-up. He was hitting golf shots. He was participating. And things are on an upward trajectory for a return, which brings us to this week. His presser is scheduled for tomorrow, I believe, Dan.
Today.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So today when that comes out. He's been, the rumor, the little report that came out within the last couple of days is that Tiger Woods is limping less. He's walking much better. He may play 5 or 6 tournaments in 2024. I was going back through all of his comebacks, really, in the history of his career. And, there have been several years where the Tiger Woods comeback hype has been lesser, and there's been a few years where it's been higher. And I would say anything could happen, literally anything, because, at one point it was it was his ACL and his leg that had broken. Then it turned out to be his back. Now clearly it's his leg and his ankle. It could clearly be something brand new come the spring, and he could be out again. You never know. But with all the way the table is currently set, I think that the hype train for this next comeback is higher than I thought it would ever be again a couple of years ago. And I think it has that hype is going to be vindicated this weekend. I don't care if he finishes last place. I think he's going to look great. I think people are going to be stunned at just how positive everything is about him, about his aesthetic, his attitude, his movement. He's not going to be perfect. He's going to limp a little bit forever, I think, but how much smoother, how much less cumbersome it's going to appear, and just how he walks his way through 4 rounds of golf at the Bahamas. Again, could totally be wrong. He could withdraw after 2 rounds. You never know. But my hunch is that I think come Sunday night, Monday morning, people are really going to be looking at Tiger Woods as someone to think about going into 2024.
Yeah, it's all comes down to the walk, because we've seen the hands are still there. He made the cut, and I think 4 out of the 5 tournaments he's played since the accident.
It's amazing.
It's insane. I remember at Riviera, he shot 67. I think it was on Saturday, and I remember writing an article being like, "Is this guy gonna fucking win like pretty soon?"
Yeah.
2 months later, he has surgery. But you could tell what you were saying, Riggs. 9 holes into the Masters this year that it just wasn't right. It's just clear. It's all in the walk, because the hands are still there. He still even had 180 mile an hour ball speed. Some murmurs that the speed is really impressive this time around. That's all there. It's just, is the walk going to look better? And that's why I think the hype for this one has been so ratcheted, is because the walk does look better. We've seen enough videos of him voluntarily caddying for Charlie Woods, carrying a bag 3 days in a row, where the walk looks better on day 3 than it did at any point before this latest surgery. So if this surgery really did what it set out to do, which is stabilize the ankle, make the walking easier, allow him to walk pain-free, somehow, some way, the guy's hands are still there and he's still able to generate that speed. So it's a function of, can the walk hold up, and can he not be in excruciating pain? Because he was in excruciating pain at Augusta. It was visible to see. You could see it as soon as he walked off the golf course, as soon as he was done with his interviews, he was moving extremely slowly, being careful with every step. That's going to be what I'm looking this week. The golf, he's going to be a little bit rusty. I'm sure he's going to have some 3 putts, going to miss a couple putts. Hasn't played a tournament in 10 months or whatever it is. But if the walk on Sunday is similar to the walk on Friday. The odds are this guy is going to win another golf tournament again. And I've said before that he won't, but I never expected the walk to look as good as it looks. So we'll check in again, obviously on Wednesday, and we'll see some footage. But it's all about the walk, and if the walk is good, then he's still Tiger Woods somehow, some way. After 27 surgeries, 5 different scandals, he's still Tiger Woods.
Yeah, I'm ready to buy into the hype that Tiger Woods is healthy. I think the walk is going to look better. I think, just from what we've seen, I think it's going to look way better than it has looked, and that's so exciting because the Masters last year really was tough to watch. But yeah, from what we've seen, I think, I'm ready to buy into that hype, the healthy hype.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be doable. I think he's going to be able to do it. And what if that means he's going to be competing, or if that just means he's just going to be able to finish out. I think he figures out this week where his game is at. Obviously, this is going to be like a trial run. He notices that this is the type of golf course that he can kind of walk without many hills, I'm assuming, right? At the Bahamas, it's
pretty dead flat. It's flat. Warm. Yeah.
This is like his go time to be like, can I do this? He obviously thinks he can. Caddying for Charlie obviously was not just any coincidence. You could tell that he was revving up. He was preparing. So yeah, this is a big week for all of us, really. It's a big week for Tiger. It's a big week for the fans. It's a big week for all the people that are hyping him up. If he gets through this week healthy, I don't need him to win this thing. I don't need him to win. I just need him to finish all 4 days and just let's go, man. Let's absolutely just stay healthy.
He's playing
That's all I care.
Yeah, me too. He's playing in the PNC. I know that's carts. I know that was pretty much a no-brainer. I think that broke since we did the last show. So yeah, this guy is going to play in a bunch of tournaments, I think. God hope that he just stays healthy.
So let's talk about these 5 to 6 tournaments. You think he'll play in all 4 majors or no?
Yeah, I think when he's saying that, I think he's saying the 4 majors and then his tournaments, which is Riviera and Hero. I think those are the 6 that he has circled because he cares a ton about his foundation.
You don't think he'd like skip the Open and he would play like the Players or one of these other, the Memorial?
Yeah, it's possible. The one that comes to mind is the U.S. Open, maybe not playing because has not played well in U.S. Opens in the recent past. It's a slog. It's physical. The rough is super long. It's not great for his legs. So I could see him taking that and then maybe adding like a Memorial or somewhere he feels like he has a good chance to win. But I think it's, generally speaking, the majors and his tournaments. What do you think, Riggs?
The thing is, I would say next year is the most likely U.S. Open that he'll play. Just because Pinehurst is relatively flat walk and there's no rough. It's just that wispy, like wasty sand area stuff. And so of all of them, I could see him almost, and it's weird to say, but I could see him looking at a forecast for a British Open. If it's going to be a couple 48 degree or 53 degree is the high rainy days, like with his injuries and everything that we know, he can't play in that kind of weather. So I could see him sitting that out unless it's at the old course at St. Andrews, maybe more next year than I could the U.S. Open, because I think Pinehurst in, June, it's going to be really warm and it's flat but I could see the rest of the way him optioning the U.S. Open or the PGA, depending on if the PGA is at a pretty hilly, like almost U.S. Open type course. I could definitely see him optioning those where he's like, I have no real chance mathematically, statistically, whatever. I think it's unlikely and saying no, thank you. I could definitely see him doing that, as crazy as it sounds. He literally did that last year. He just said no and didn't play up at Boston at the U.S. Open there where Fitz won. So yeah, I do think he's going to play the Genesis every year. I think that's, we know it benefits his foundation and it's his event. He's the host. It's early. It's in a weird window for him where otherwise he wouldn't play for 3 or 4 months or whatever it would be if he didn't play that. But yeah, I think he'll probably play at least 3 of the majors. I think next year he'll probably play all 4, and then you got to think he'll play maybe the Players and the Genesis, something like that. You think it seems like a lot all of a sudden?
Yeah,
something like that.
I think the Players, it's just that's like a tough time of year where like things start to ramping up. So it's just going to matter on how much rest he wants in between. But it's funny because we talk about the golf courses that are good, the golf courses are bad. Augusta National is the hilliest golf course of the year. So he just knows that in April, he's just going to get punched in the dick.
I know.
That's so true. We give Augusta a free pass because he can play it with his eyes closed, but it's not about the ability to play it. All of this is about his ability to walk it. And like you're saying, Augusta might be the hardest walk for him out of every single course he'll play.
Yeah.
It is kind of did it last year where it's like if the minute he realizes he's not going to win the tournament, he just withdraws from Augusta. Just instant. Just
right.
What do you think? What do you think, Joey? I think I just realized we're not going to win. And he's like, we're out. We're just fucking
Which
leaving.
I'm fine with. I think he should do that the rest of the way. Just if you're not going to win, let's get out of here,
Let's get the hell out
Let's
of
get
here.
the hell out of here. I think he's going to have a great year.
Me too. Yeah. Excited. Tiger video is insane. Tiger Woods is returning this week, which is insane. We're going to have much more to cover on Wednesday or on Thursday show after he has his presser. We get to see there's going to be some footage of him on the driving range. There'll be some footage of him, in practice rounds and such. We haven't really seen Tiger Woods golf swings on video or anything. Right? I mean, since he's kind of come back. No,
we were going crazy when he was just hitting the ball around with the wedge with one hand at his
Liberty.
At Liberty.
Yeah.
That's really all we've seen.
Techniques headphones deliver legendary hi-fi sound quality that you would expect only to come from Techniques. I've got these bad boys in right now, right here. The noise canceling part of this is so good that this is the first podcast we've ever done where I can't really hear myself. And it's been kind of weird. I can't tell if I'm a little bit louder, softer. I just can't hear myself because usually I don't have headphones in that are as good at noise canceling. I could just hear myself seeping through. I used these for the first time on an airplane last week, and it was a game changer. I couldn't even hear that pilot out there just baffling on about God knows what.
Oh, just eating the microphone, just chewing on the microphone. We're going to start our descent into New York City. That shit drives me crazy.
I mean,
they should be able to say whatever they want.
They should or shouldn't?
They should. They're flying a fucking plane.
Focus on the flying.
Nah, man. We don't give
we
them
get
enough
there
respect.
we get there.
We don't give enough. We do not give them enough respect. I've realized.
I respect pilots.
We get off that plane. We don't even look at them. We just
I say thank you.
We shuffle off there. And we're
I say thank you.
That's fine. We all.
How dare you tell us about
the
weather when we land as you fly us through the air at 30,000 feet?
It's not about
those things fly themselves
in a tin tube.
Those things.
That guy's he should get on the mic and be like, you should all be sucking my Techniques.
For doing his job. He's doing his job. We paid for these seats. It's like,
just a full
job is insane. It's talk about public service. He's flying you through the air.
Guy's a bus driver.
He's flying you through the air.
Incredible that this is just in the middle of the
automobiles. More automobile. Do you have to go pray and thank to every person that's ever taken you in a cab before?
Dude, no, it's because they're so fucking trained and they're so intelligent and they're so incredible that they don't fucking crash them. That's the people that crash the cars are ridiculous.
That part is amazing.
Trent had an Uber driver once had to slap himself awake. If your pilot was doing that, we'd have a real issue.
I think that
they
has
literally are on autopilot. The thing is literally called autopilot.
No,
so I think they could sleep for 90%.
I want
of the
pilots listening to this knowing I'm team pilot.
We like pilots.
We're not anti-pilot. There's parts of the piloting that could be done differently, and that is like Trent said. The guy yesterday was trying to sling me win 75,000 free miles. I'm like, just how about you fucking land the plane? Just land the airplane.
No.
That would be great. The other thing is like Trent just said, when they're like, oh, we've started our initial descent. That means we still got 40 minutes, dude. That's let me know when we're
He's letting you know you're about to go through the clouds, dude. He's letting you know we're about to descend through the fucking clouds that you look up at and you see them flying around your house.
I thank the pilot every time he walks out there. And I say thank you very much.
I give a thank you every time too.
You're like, shut up next time. It's like shut up and dribble. You're like shut up and fly.
Shut up and fly.
I don't want to hear your fucking comments. I want to listen to my podcast.
You can with Techniques.
Exactly. Techniques will let you do both of those things. You'll allow you to sit there and enjoy your podcast, your movie, your show, whatever it might be, in complete peace and silence, really, except for the noise coming out of the device that you're playing it on, because the noise canceling part of these bad boys are so good. There's crystal clear call clarity with enhanced Just My Voice technology to ensure that you never miss a word in a conversation, business deal, or golf trip. And they're elegantly wireless with its simple charging case. No ear fatigue. That's a huge part of it for me because when we travel so much, you're on these flights forever, and then you're in the airport, and then you jump on another flight. It could really start to like irritate your ears. They got advanced fit ergonomics. So I got the app that came with this. You download the app, and then you kind of twist these bad boys, and it gives you on the app, it gives you like a little monitor of how optimized it is and how it's really incredible how you can do it. And then you hit these little tests, and then you kind of rate where it's at on the test, so you can go back and forth. So you can get it extremely dialed, as we like to say in the business. So huge fan of these things. Shop for Techniques True Wireless AZ80 earbuds at techniques.com. That's TECHNICS.com. We love pilots. We're very pro pilot here. Now we're especially pro pilot because they could just blabber on all day long if they want, and I won't even hear them because we got Techniques in. So big shout out to Techniques. Go to techniques.com.
Not the only return this week. I know everyone is very excited about the return of Will Zalatoris. He's back after I think it's like 8 months.
Wow.
Yeah, Willie Z is playing this week. One of the great fly under the radar moves of all time. Because typically, a top 10 player like that, he's coming back after a long injury. Bunch of questions. No one, he is sailing clear this week.
8 months, man. That's stunning that it's been that long, but it really has been. I'm excited to see him play. Yeah,
he's a fan favorite. He finished 4th at Riviera. I'm looking at his results. He finished 4th at Riviera this year, which I just did not remember at all. But yeah, he came back. He played like 6 or 7 events, and then he had back surgery, which is always concerning a guy of Zalatoris' age. So he's fun to watch, man. Everyone likes him. He's one of those players where he doesn't really have any haters because it's just a very fun golf swing to watch. So excited to watch him tee it up again for sure.
I was going to say, I felt like the injury's been longer than just 8 months because he missed the President's Cup, right? That Kisner took his spot in the President's Cup. So that was well over a year ago.
Yeah. So right. He came back. He was out. He came back last fall. He played 8 or 9 events through. I think his last event was the match play. And then after the match play, he opted for surgery because I think the pain was coming back. So it's the first. Yeah. He played a little bit, but you're right. He hasn't been right since fall of 2021.
Yeah, so this is a big one for him. Yeah, there was a time where every single tournament, every major, Will Zalatoris was at the top, and you're like, this guy's going to rattle off a bunch of huge wins. He's just going to get it. He's finishing in second. He's just right there, and then he just disappeared. You don't see his name. You don't talk about him. He's not in that top 10 talk when you're bringing up the Justin Thomases and the Scotty Schefflers and who's going to win this week. He just wasn't a name, and now we just get that guy back. Hopefully he's healthy. He's a great guy. He's a friend of the program. Willie Z back in the mix is huge for the boys.
Lurch saved his life at the old course of St. Andrews. He's such a friend of the program that he hit a shot in a practice round, saw us, and then just walked across the fairway, not realizing that his playing partner in the practice round was hitting. And Lurch yelled like, "Dude, you got to stop!" And he stopped. And otherwise, he would have got hit in the face with a golf ball. He might not be returning this week or ever at this point. So Lurch saved his life. We love Willie Z. Willie Z is so good at golf. His ball striking is off the charts, that guy. So it'll be nice to see him back, but we probably won't see any of it because it'll just be all about Tiger Woods, as it should be. I got to give a shout out to modern medicine and just antibiotics. Antibiotics have saved my life. I wasn't going to do this show as of this time yesterday. I couldn't even really open my mouth or talk. I somehow acquired strep throat. And I have, no joke, so my normal resting heart rate is about 55. And if I booze pretty hard, on the whoop, it maybe goes up to like 73 or 75. My resting heart rate, on Friday, I started to feel pretty shitty. And I went to bed early. I left the bar at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. And I was asleep by 8:30. I slept for 11 straight hours.
Oh.
I woke up with 1% recovery, and my resting heart rate was 109.
What?
Throughout the entire night. And literally all I did was lay in bed. It was 109. My HRV, Trent, was 14.
Oh my God.
It's not good. That's really not good.
And I was like, what the fuck? And so I just laid in bed all day. I slept. I kind of was like dozing in and out of the Michigan Ohio State game. just feeling worse and worse. And I would check my resting heart rate, and it was like 98, 100. I'm just laying in bed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But my throat was so sore I couldn't really swallow, but I didn't have like congestion or anything like that, stuffy nose. So like, what's going on? And my nephew Robbie really, he was playing 4 hockey games that day. So I went and watched 3 of his hockey games over the course of like 2 hours. And then afterwards, I was like, you guys need to take me back to my hotel. I have to go to sleep. So went back, slept, woke up the next day. My resting heart rate that night was 98 throughout the entire night. So I was like, oh God, that's still horrific. I felt awful. Yesterday I woke up, my throat, like my larynx, I guess all around here, was swollen like you wouldn't believe, like twice as big as it's supposed to be. So I flew back to Arizona, went to urgent care, and got tested for flu, COVID, and strep throat. Turns out I have strep throat. They send me over to Walgreens. I get antibiotics and 600 milligram of ibuprofen. A total disaster, by the way, the process to get this stuff, but I got it, which is all that really matters. And boy, I took these antibiotics. I passed out. I woke up, and it was Adam Banks and Mighty Ducks. I woke up and the pain was gone. Like, I'm still sick. My whoop stats are way better, and I definitely need to like nap after this. But like, I can just swallow without pain for the first time in 2.5 days.
Yeah.
And I'm able to actually talk, which I couldn't do for several days. I felt so bad to like my parents because they're like asking me questions about how stuff's going on Saturday. They drove me to my nephew's hockey game, and I like couldn't even talk. I just was like, everything's great. I literally just like couldn't even talk. But yeah, woke up this morning and was like, holy shit. So somehow I texted my dad about it. My dad was like, if it weren't for antibiotics, half of us wouldn't even be here. So clearly antibiotics are fucking important and have done a lot of good, but might be the most magical thing. I'm not a medicine guy. I never really take anything ever. And so this is like the first time in my life I've genuinely taken something outside of like when you have surgery and you take fucking hardcore pain meds that just numb everything. Where I woke up and was just like, oh my God, I feel 1,000,000,000 times better and don't have the pain. So shout out to antibiotics. Big fan of those things.
Yeah, like 300 years ago, you'd just be dead.
There was a point like last night, I thought to a very serious degree, like I can't even fathom anymore what it feels like to feel good or normal. And I don't know if I don't want to suffer through this to get to that point. I don't have like what it takes to fight. I just want to die. Like, this is awful.
Yeah.
Like, the fucked up part about bacterial infections too is like in the past when it would get worse, it would like go into your brain, and like it would be a really bad way to go out. Like you really, yeah. If this was Game of Thrones times, you would have been like, oh, Riggs, yeah, like he lost his mind.
Dude, I don't like. People were asking me questions. I couldn't think. I couldn't like tie. And then I'd lay in bed for hours, and then I would get up and just like. As soon as I stood up, like I would be almost fall over and have a sharp like headache, and then I would like take a sip of water, and even ice cold water, I'd take a sip of it, and it hurt to the point where every time I took a sip of water, and I just was like, I
tough
literally
Thanksgiving
said like
for the Riggs family over there,
like,
fucking
just
Missouri.
dude, dying just has to be better than this. That's what I was like, this is fucking awful, and it started again like Friday night, and I thought at first because like. Even at the TaylorMade shoot, like each night, we kind of, like especially Tuesday night after we got Tiger, we kind of sent it and we were celebrating and having drinks. And then Wednesday night is like Thanksgiving Eve, Black Wednesday. So we were drinking. Thursday, obviously, you're drinking. It's fucking Thanksgiving. Friday, we played a little bit of golf. We're having some more drinks. So I was like, I'm just dehydrated and run down from too much drinking. Let's just like chill out for a couple days. Didn't leave bed for 2 days and just got worse and worse and worse. I was like, I don't know. I just can't do it. I'm like trying to promote stuff on the internet, but I can't even think. Like, just seen how long it took me to type out some of these tweets and then like trying to read them to make sure I didn't put anything that's going to get me canceled.
Right. You got to do that. Like you could literally be on your deathbed, which it actually sounds like you kind of were. You got to promote Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because the actual repercussions for that are worse than what you had with strep throat. Because you're the guy, especially with the way things have been going the last couple of weeks, you're just like, oh, you're not promoting the merch that you're trying to sell? Dave Portnoy's all over you. You would rather die than have that, so you have to promote the Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Have to.
Dude, Trent, I put out that tweet about promoting like the stay at my house yesterday, And then I saw Dave retweeted it, and I just went, oh.
Yeah, right. That's a win.
I just laid back in my bed. It was like, oh, okay. All right. And then I just fell asleep for another couple hours and eventually went to urgent care. And here we are. So I feel a zillion times better. And antibiotics are just awesome. They're just really impressive thing that they came up with there.
Shout out to modern medicine.
Yeah,
modern
Aaron
medicine,
Rodgers,
baby.
Tiger Woods, and Riggs are all benefiting from modern medicine. It's a great time to be alive.
Aaron Rodgers coming back
There's
Christmas Eve,
December
I heard?
24th. Yeah,
You got to be kidding me.
I'm in the camp of just like, why? It's not. What are you gonna get out of it?
Because they're not. Are they not in the playoff hunt?
They're
anymore?
not.
They have
no,
no
they
chance.
just keep losing games. They're not going to make it. There's no chance. The Bills
I
aren't
feel like
even
at
in the
this
wild
point
card
it almost
hunt anymore.
adds.
They're
to
in the
his-
hunt.
He wants to do it to stick it to the libs and show that like my way of approaching medicine is better than your way. And I think it.
I mean,
would
there's
add
what?
to his
There's like-
legacy. If he comes back, it adds to his legacy for sure.
How many games are left? 6?
5
7?
weeks, I think.
5 weeks left.
Yeah, because the Bills have 4 games, I think. So 5 weeks. That was
I mean,
week
if he
12.
rattles off like 5 wins in a row or something, it would be obviously you might get your team into the playoffs. I just don't see it. The Jets can't score a touchdown. It's going to be amazing if he does come back. The only reason I want him to come back is to see how incompetent the other QBs are. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they literally can't get an offensive touchdown. They can't. It's impossible. Over 3-4 weeks, we get 1 a game if we're lucky.
Oh.
If this guy comes back and just starts going down the field, what is wrong with the other guys? You know what I mean? Like, are they like incapable of throwing the football? I mean,
It is pretty wild when you
how
think
much
about,
better
like,
is he than them?
there's only. It seems to be there's only a very small percentage of like quarterbacks who can actually play the position.
And it's the most important position in the country. How is Tim Boyle, and no disrespect to Tim Boyle, is that his first name?
Yeah.
How is he a starting quarterback in the NFL right now? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, listen,
it used to be a time where the names were like the quarterbacks had names, man.
no, but there's always a garbage tier. There's always a top tier, and then there's always
There's a lot of garbage. And I know Tom Brady got kind of shit on this by Alex Smith on ESPN for saying that like the game has changed and these like it's a really bad time to be a quarterback right now. But it seems like it's like these names that are QBs right now. You can't even believe it.
Listen, if you want to watch a real offensive juggernaut, tune in Saturday for the
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Ten Championship. Iowa, Michigan, Deacon Hill and the boys. They're going to put their best offensive foot forward, probably score 0 points. The over probably is going to hit
Do we still take
purely
the under?
because of Michigan. I think the over-under is what, like 34?
I don't know. But I know that Iowa's been the under is 9-2, 10-2.
And
This year.
Michigan should rattle off at least 30
For
points
Iowa
against
games.
Well, Iowa does have a good defense. That's the one thing. I mean, they're the worst offensive collection of football players to ever grace a football field.
Are you prepared for a miracle win and what that's going to mean between you and Dave Portnoy yet? Have you like
Listen, I went through this 2 years ago. Dave and I actually went to the Big Ten Championship. It was a very similar Iowa team, a very similar yet better Michigan team that they have now, actually. And we went to the game and we left at halftime because it was like 45-0. There's almost no way. It's fun to play that way. Like I was tweeting about that on Saturday, being like, Michigan doesn't know what's coming to them. They are going.
Yeah.
It's going to be a freak show. They're going to walk into a freak show. They play the Ohio States of the world, and they're like, "Oh, I get this.
show.
It's going to be a shootout. We're going to have to score a bunch of points." They're going to walk into this freak show and not know like what points are. They're playing the Iowa Hawkeyes, who do not play a real brand of football, and
They're
it's
gonna be
actually
these
really
guys aren't even trying to score. Why aren't
right.
they
They're
trying
going
to score?
I think I mentioned this before, but it's like when you play somebody in chess who is just as good at chess as you kind of know the strategy. When you play someone who isn't even really playing chess, you have less idea what their strategy is. And that is what Iowa is as a football team. So do I think that they can pull off the upset? No. Do I think it's going to be hilarious, like a Petri dish football game where you take the Michigan football team, one of the best football teams in the country and of recent memory, and an Iowa football team that scores 12 points a game but is 10-2, and they get to play Michigan? I don't even know what that's going to look like, but I'm excited to watch. So tune in, Big Ten Championship on Saturday.
I'm saying you better hope they don't win.
Yeah.
Dave will be so mad if Iowa wins.
They're going to the playoff regardless.
True, that's how that works. It
I
doesn't
mean,
matter?
there's no way Michigan isn't going to get in the playoff.
Right.
But
Imagine that though.
I just, it's hard to wrap
You'd have to
my head-
apologize to him. Be like, I'm sorry. He just murdered Big Ev just to lose to the Hawkeyes.
I think Dave would
I
be
think the
more
lo-
mad at Michigan than he would be at anybody else.
Yeah,
Like if they
yeah.
lose to Iowa.
What he did with Big Ev is unbelievable. Never seen Never seen a dragging like that in my
I'm
life.
just really, I just hate seeing you like this. It makes me sick.
insane.
I hate seeing you like that.
It's they did a 2-man rundown today. It was just Dave and Big Ev.
Dave walked in today and just hugged Big Ev
Twice.
Just
real hugs of compassion and just, I'm so sorry.
I was
Oh,
rooting
God.
so heavily for Michigan just for this reason, because we need a happy Dave
Oh,
Portnoy. We don't
man.
need a sad Dave Portnoy.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Dude, I've
laying
actually
on my
been on-
deathbed going, for us, golf is very simple. It's a chance to get out there, have some fun, maybe get rid of the stress of daily life, have a great time out there with your friends, with your pals, with the gals, whoever it might be. Inevitably, obviously, little things get in the way. You might have slow play going on. You might have a horrible play going on between yourself, between anybody that you're playing with. Who knows what it might be that can frustrate you on the golf course. There's all kinds of funny memes out there about, oh, yeah, we're just out here relaxing, and people are all frustrated, rattled, the whole deal. You know what's going to make that better every single time? Fireball whiskey.
Yeah, we've said it before that you're not going to play well. I want you to know that. It's a hard sport. Largely, the large population is not going to play well. So you might as well have a good time, and Fireball helps with that. You can have a very good time playing a little bit of golf, not playing it that well, drink a little Fireball, and you're going to have a lot of fun. You might actually play a little bit better. That ends up being the case sometimes. You take a little bit of Fireball, and now everything feels a little smoother. The swing feels a little bit better. So just always have Fireball ready to go.
There's a very good chance you're going to play better with Fireball. So not
Yeah.
only will you just be having more fun because you've got Fireball's iconic cinnamon whiskey flavor inside of you, but you're going to be less frustrated too because you're just probably going to play better. You got a nice, little liquid courage inside of you out there, and you're swinging and you're loosey goosey. So do yourself and your group, everybody out there that's around you, a favor and grab some Fireball 50 milliliter shooters, which are perfect shot for the golf course. Throw a bunch in your bag. There's no shot glass chaser needed. You just crack it, knock it back. You're good to go. So if you're feeling like upping the ante on the course this weekend or anytime, make sure to grab a 10-pack of Fireball shooters.
I've been on fire with gambling. I know you have been too.
I actually have been, yeah.
Oh, me too.
Dude, I'm 7-0 on my last 7 bets. And it started on Thanksgiving Eve. All 3 games. I'm sorry, on Thanksgiving Day. All 3 games Thanksgiving hit. I was mixing up overs and then San Francisco. Then on Black Friday.
Did you take the Tyreek bet that I
Dude, I did not.
put in the chat? Oh, first touchdown, Tyreek Hill.
And that was late.
Plus 550.
Late in the game. That was like second quarter, right?
Yeah, he had a couple
It
chances
hit?
to score. Yeah,
It hit.
he had a couple chances early on.
Woo.
And again, we're talking about bets that are 4 days old, but it's
But it's just good to be on a run. You're
Sure.
never on a run. I'm currently on a run right now. Like last night, who played last night? It was the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
Ravens.
Ravens,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chargers.
Last night,
Ravens and
or
Chargers.
in the 4:00 games, the 49ers were down. No, not the 49ers. Who played Vegas?
Chiefs.
The Chiefs were down, like 14-0, and I put a large bet on the Chiefs, like a live bet, and I was just seeing the board. They won by fucking 16. I got them at plus money. I got them at plus money to win money line. It was crazy. It's just like I'm seeing the board right now. It's just good to be in that mode right now. So tonight's Monday Night Football. I think I'm gonna look after we get on here, and I'm gonna try and go 8-0. That'll be the run of my life. That's the run of my life.
8-0 is
That's the
You
run of my
gotta
life.
appreciate it when it's happening, because when
Feels-
you're losing, it feels like it's never going
True.
to come around.
And I've been putting it in my group chat with my buddies, and like they're putting in pictures of me with like I'm like Nostradamus with a globe in front of me, because every night it's like, Frank, what's your pick? And I put it, and then it hits, and we go nuts. It's like, what's going on?
That's the
Give
most
me a
fun
loser.
part
Give
of
me
it.
one loser. Try.
That's the most fun part of it, is throwing it in your gambling chat or
Yeah.
your buddy
Oh.
chat, and you start hitting, and they start making memes of you. That's fun.
Let's just try and lose
Memes
one.
of you.
I dare you.
Internal memes are the most fun.
Shout out to Mr. Ice. He gave me another big winner last night. So
That guy.
I shout him out on here all the time, but I almost hit in the first period of the
Yeah.
Oilers game last night. It was insane. I was like sitting at urgent care trying to figure out if I was going to die or get through this whole thing. And I just had the game on in the corner, and I turned it on for the first time, and it was 4-2 in the first period, and the over was 6.5. I was like, okay, that's a winner. So I'm on a heater too, but a large part of that is due to Mr. Ice. Real quick, we've got a little Phil Mickelson versus Alan Shipnuck in a John Rahm to live controversy that's been going on. Some very, very pointed tweets from Phil Mickelson towards Alan Shipnuck, calling him a liar and calling him, I think he called him the most pathetic person on earth.
Pathetic human being.
Pathetic human being, because Shipnuck reported that Phil has been telling people, which is a very vague thing to say, telling people like around him that he's hung out with that that Jon Rahm is going to live. I saw rumors of $600 million last week, actually, which was after the last time we recorded, but kind of before Thanksgiving. So when we were all together, I guess for TaylorMade, was when the rumors were really going around that Rahm was going to go to live. And then shortly after that is when kind of Phil started clapping back. He's clapped back a few different times. These guys have obviously had a pretty frosty relationship since Shipnuck put those quotes out. Phil said they were off the record. Shipnuck put the entire book out, which I actually thought made me think better of Phil, not worse. But yeah, spicy stuff between these two.
Yeah, I the Rahm stuff, this seems to happen like once a fiscal quarter. We get the Jon Rahm is going to live. And, I reported that I think it's just more noise. That's what I'm hearing from my people. No one ever says you were right, which is really fucking annoying because it's happened in the past where they're like, oh, Xander Schauffele is going. I'm like, that's not true. And then everyone's like, oh, you just don't know. And then they don't go. And there's never a moment where you could be like, oh, I see he didn't go. It's always like it just fades away. But anyways, yeah, that's a nightmare. That's the nightmare. The nightmare is having a top 10 player of all time calling you a pathetic human being. I don't want that to happen to me ever.
And just a liar.
Yeah, the worst liar and a pathetic human being.
I also just I don't understand now that there's like this PIF PGA Tour thing that we don't know a ton about. I don't understand the live stuff anymore. Like, where's all this money? The PIF is PIF live.
PIF funds live, but they are a much bigger entity than just live.
My question is, why would the PIF, who now has a deal with the PGA Tour, a framework deal, why would they want to poach players from their new investment to take it to their old investment?
Yeah, and $600 million. I mean, that would be double any offer. That was just some guy. A guy just wrote that. The amount of this stuff. There's a disinformation machine that goes on, and you can just see one rumor leads to another, and then this guy quote tweets this guy, and it just before you know it, it's like it feels like the whole world is on fire.
Ironically enough, in Shipnuck's most recent book, Live and Let Die, he sort of talks about this at the end about like live versus PGA Tour versus the PGA Tour partnering with the PIF, which funds live. And he sort of says that people don't really realize that how much of a kind of a real like baby that Yasser Al-Rumayyan looks at live as. Like he really like loves live and cherishes it and cares about it. And so, yeah, which is bizarre because like you just said, I mean, there doesn't seem to be any world in which live and the PGA Tour can coexist under the PIF being sort of the founding investor in both of them, especially when Norman and Monahan and Norman and Tiger and Norman and pretty much everybody like hate each other. So it doesn't make sense. And why would Liv pay Jon Rahm $600 million, even if Rahm was willing to take it, to take him over there when this whole thing might be shut down soon, or they're all going to be funded by the same. It's just
right. Like I figure the only person still recruiting for Liv, I thought it was just Greg Norman. I thought Greg Norman was just like trying to get guys' numbers and being like, "Come join this league because I'm the head of it, and you should come hang out with us because we're cooler and we're going to pay you a bunch of money." What you just laid out is kind of what I was saying, where it's like, I don't know if it's all coming from the same place. To me now, it's all the same, and I get that. Live guys currently can't play on the PGA Tour, and there's a whole like probably some legislation that's going to come from that. But like to me, it's actually all the same now, much more than it was a year ago.
Yeah, but I'll echo what JJ Watt said, which is amid all of this chaos where you don't know what's going to happen. It sounds like the PGA Tour and PIF are negotiating. They sent out a thing to players a couple of weeks ago being like, yes, we've had investment opportunities. People have come in and wanting to invest in the PGA Tour, but our focus is still completing this framework deal with the PIF. That's been the official word. If amid all of that, they are offering him $600 million, take it.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be playing in the same events probably in the next couple of years. Like he just won the Masters, so he's good for 5 years. He's so fucking good at golf that there's no doubt he'll qualify. Some guy, Dean Burmester, just won a European Tour event to qualify for the Open Championship. He plays on Live. Like, Rahm could do that, no problem. He's that good.
Dude.
If in this climate they are offering you $600 million, I don't know how you don't take that money.
You take $600 million for the exact reason that you said. I think it's all just going to be one thing. The timetable on that is unclear, but probably in like a year or 2 years, it's all going to be the same thing. So you are going to be the same guy playing in the same tournaments, but you're going to have $600 million extra.
Plus, Rahm wouldn't really be putting his foot in his mouth. Like, he's never really been anti-lit. Like,
no, he said that on our show. He was like, I'm fine with those guys. It's not a big deal to me.
Right. So, yeah, I think, like, if they offered Jon Rahm $600 million, I wouldn't understand that, especially in what we just kind of laid out. But if you're Jon Rahm, I think you got to take that guy. You have to take the $600 million. Outrageous. So, yeah, it's probably unlikely that's true, but who knows? And then last thing I wanted to shout out was our friend Kawashallow on Instagram. You guys still follow this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Figure 8.
Dude, him doing the figure 8 the other day, and when he puts, what did he put? He put on one of them. He put 3 tips for drawing the ball and never slicing. And the first one was like grip, and then the second one was just Kawashallow. This is what he put.
King.
Like,
He's a king.
And then the third one was like swing out to the right or something. And I just laughed out loud because he does it in where he never talks. He just puts the text on the screen, and it was just tip 1, grip, strong grip. Tip 2, Kawashallow. It's just him getting shallow with the club. And I'm telling you, he makes it look, he does the darkness at the driving range thing where you could just see the ball in the air forever. It looks like he hits these golf balls 400 yards with like a tight draw. But just watching him swing will make your golf game better. So, yeah, if you don't follow Kamura or whatever is what his actual handle is. But he refers to himself as Kawashallow and how you got to get Kawashallow to hit a good golf shot. And he's the best. So I had to shout him out.
He did one where he was holding the tennis racket and he made it look so visually obvious on how to get your club face square to the ball, where he was like, if you do it this way, the tennis racket isn't square, but if you do it this way, the tennis racket's square. And it was fucking awesome. It's like, how am I not taking a tennis racket out to the driving range?
Yep. He's the best follow in golf on Instagram.
He was holding the grip. He was holding the club and the racket at the same time.
This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Actually, very much I'm looking for this because I've made a decision with myself after how horrifically sick I was the last few days that I'm just going to do everything in my power to never feel that way ever again and to be strong and not vulnerable from my body standpoint. And Factor is really going to help. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door.
Yeah, this is a big one for me. I've been searching. We've had, different conversations about what we eat and whether we're going fast food on the road and all this stuff. And when you're home, it's really hard to dedicate yourself to cooking every single night. You're so busy, and my wife is busy and she gets home and she doesn't want to cook that often. And then you're like, well, what are we going to do? You have no other options unless you're doing that. And then you find something like Factor where it is ready to make, it's ready to heat up, and then you're just eating healthy, fresh food. It's the best solution. It really is. Like, when you are busy and this time of the year, the holiday season is insane. You get home, you're doing the next thing. You get home, you're doing the next thing. You got a party every single weekend. You're seeing family. You don't have time to food shop and do all this stuff. And Factor, for right now, I'm telling you, go try it. It's helped us so much be able to get what we need. We're eating healthy. We're feeling good about ourselves. We don't feel like shit every single night. This is the one. This is the way to go. I'm telling you, Mandalorian style. This is the way.
Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from 35 plus weekly flavored packed, fresh, never frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences, all delivered right to your door, ready to eat in just 2 minutes. I can't tell you how important that is. We've talked a lot about how just the preparation for meals and dishes and all the stuff you got to do. It's just too much for us. You usually hit a button on your phone. You order something that's terrible for you, but you just do it for the convenience. Now, with our very good friends at Factor, you're going to get healthy, nutritious, delicious meals that just take a couple minutes. This November, December, whenever, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meal and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door. Head to factormeals.com/450 and use code 450 FORE50 to get 50% off. That's code 450 at factormeals.com/450 to get 50% off.
What do you guys think Tiger finishes this week?
First,
Top 20, baby.
I think Tiger
If he beats
finishes,
anybody, it's a big success, right?
I think
if
Tiger
as long as he's
finishes
not
like
dead last.
I think Tiger finishes eighth.
he'll beat people.
I think he finishes eighth.
Ooh. Yeah. I'll go 10th.
I think he finishes like 15th. Shows a lot, but he'll be rusty for sure. But I think he'll beat like 4 or 5 players. But I think he'll show enough for everybody to be excited.
I think going into Sunday, where like Tiger could maybe win this today if he goes nuclear, and I just think that whoever was in the lead just holds on to it. But I think Tiger's like within 4 or 5 strokes of the final score of the final.
It's
leader.
a good point because he has been practicing so hard, and everybody else is in like wind down time. So he might catch them on like a little bit of a rusty streak.
I'm gonna go fifth. I think he's gonna finish fifth.
Holy shit, dude! If he finishes 5th, the internet's gonna explode.
He's the best player of all time.
We all think he's going to make it through, right?
Yeah. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best player to ever.
I'm really
pick up.
excited.
4-day
to watch.
tournament.
I can't wait.
It's Thursday to Sunday. It's a
4-day
full
tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He'll be all right.
He'll be all right.
It'd be good.
Be
Who's
all
on-
right.
Who's on the bag?
We
Do we
don't
know
yet.
yet?
I don't
That's
know.
insane.
I don't know. I
come
think
out
the
like
odds
Raleigh
are
been
Robbie
recorded.
Mack, but we'll probably know tomorrow. He'll show up to the golf course with someone. But I asked Rob last week, and
I
he
think,
wouldn't
I
say
think there's a
anything.
good chance that whoever he's got a Robbie Mack or somebody this week, and that's not actually his caddy when he shows up for like Riviera or the Masters.
Yeah. Oh, and we got a interim Paul McGinley on NBC. Did I see that?
Ooh, I did not see that. Is that true?
That might not be true.
Yeah,
I
that is
thought-
true. No, that's true.
Okay.
He's filling in.
That's
I don't
good.
think he's signed the long-term deal. He's got a big accent guy. I like Paul McGinley. I'm very interested to see who gets that spot because there's not a
hell
natural
did you just
replacement. That's my Irish. He's got a lot of that going on. The Power Harrington, Shane Lowry.
Are you seeing there?
I'm saying,
Does he have a speech impediment?
No, he just they don't say the
Is he
T,
Jersey?
they say duh. They say the thing about Tiger. The thing about Tiger.
That thing.
That actually
thing
is
about
that's a pretty
Tiger.
good. I mean, it's just Irish, but that is a good McGinley impression.
He
I
sounded
think.
like Jersey Jerry starting off one of his Jerry fragrances. Nah, 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 nah.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Paul McGinley. I think he'll do a good job.
Me too. Okay. Well, amazing things to talk about. We got a lot coming up per usual, and yeah, Thursday's show we'll have a ton more to get to because we'll have seen Tiger Woods in a presser, finally answered some questions about all this stuff we've wondered about for months, really. And if you look back, even 6 weeks or so ago, I think people would have been stunned if Tiger Woods was playing in the Hero World Challenge. We didn't really know. That was before the Charlie caddying, carrying the bag videos came out. We were just kind of seeing him at Liberty National, sort of like, mostly leaning on one leg, hitting shots one-handed. It didn't look that promising, but maybe a little bit there. And now all of a sudden he's going to be playing a golf tournament in 2 days. So insanely excited. Big thanks again to everybody who bought merchandise. You can still buy merchandise at store.barstoolsports.com. Go to the foreplay collection is what we would prefer on this very show. As crazy as that might sound, but that helps us. So we would enjoy that. Otherwise, everybody have a great week.
Did any of you guys see? I threw a little whistling up on the timeline. Did anyone see any of that? Did you guys?
bro.
I've
catch
always
it?
whistle-
told you you're a highly talented whistler.
I gotta be honest. It's weird for me to. I think when I did the national anthem, I think that may have been the best thing I've ever done. I've watched that back. There's a point towards the end where I swear to God, I feel like I exited my body and it was someone else. I've laughed so hard at the last couple notes that I hit. I can't even repeat that if I tried. It was the perfect whistling national anthem. I didn't miss. I can't believe that's an actual real video myself.
I got
You're a
an
hell of a whistler.
unsolicited from one of my friends text, "Is this real?" And they
It
just
didn't
sent me
feel
that.
real, dude. I finished
Video.
it. I hit stop and I go, "There's no way that sounded the way I think it just did." And I rewatched it. And I laughed so
That was
fucking.
insane.
There's one note where I go like, I hit the high note and I can't believe it came out. Like I'm not that good of a whistler.
Well, that's not true. You're a good
I've
whistler.
never whistled
so
like
it
that.
probably didn't slap for us as hard as the normal folk, but still, I watched it. Was like, holy shit!
Oh,
Right, we're spoiled because we're with you and you whistle, not all the time, but we've heard you whistle. You're good at it. It's an impressive thing that you did.
Alex, you're gonna have to put in like the last bit of it
Okay.
because it's
Put the whole thing
Dude,
in.
Nah, it's a
I think
lot.
you take us out
Yeah.
of the pod with the full
All
version
right.
of it.
Hannah says
Just
she
at
feels
the
like
end.
Have to.
she feels like she lives with a bird or like Snow White when she's calling in all the animals, constantly whistling around the house.
Yeah, I think we end with that, and that just takes us all the way through.
Okay,
It
Anything
was
else?
impressive.
I got
Hit it hard,
nothing.
baby.
It's hot in here.
It's hot in this room, man. Ooh,
It's hot in here too. I'm sweating, but I can't tell if that's my fever or if it's just hot. I don't know.
we got to get out of here.
All right, we'll be back on Thursday. Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Hit it hard.
Thank you very much.